To the healthy man and woman, this is respectfully dedicated. They have done certain things consciously or subconsciously in order to bring themselves from infancy to healthy, normal maturity. And if you, who may not be so healthy and normal, will do just these same things, there is no reason why you, too, should not be just as they are. And this is our attempt to tell you just what this healthy man and woman did in order to be just what they are. So listen and then do likewise, so far as you are able. If you doubt the truth of our statements, find some healthy man or woman and watch him or her closely, and see whether he or she does not do the things we have pointed out to you to do in this, and whether he or she does not leave undone the things we have asked you to avoid. We are willing to submit our teachings to this severe test. Apply it. So, what is Hatha Yoga? Hatha Yoga, the science of yoga, is divided into several branches. Among the best known and leading divisions are: number 1, Hatha Yoga; number 2, Raja Yoga; number 3, Karma Yoga; number 4, Jnana Yoga. This book is devoted only to the first named, Hatha Yoga, and we will not attempt to describe the others at this time, although we will have something to say upon all of these great branches of yoga in future writings. Hatha Yoga is that branch of yoga philosophy which deals with the physical body, its care, its well-being, its health, its strength, and all that tends to keep in it its natural and normal state of health. It teaches a natural mode of living and voices the cry which has been taken up by many of the Western world. Let us get back to nature, accepting that the yoga does not have to get back, for he is already there, for he has always clung close to nature and her ways, and has not been dazzled and befooled by the mad rush towards externals, which has caused the modern civilized races to forget that such a thing as nature existed. Fashions and social ambitions have not reached the yogi's consciousness. He smiles at these things and regards them as he does the pretenses of childish games. He has not been lured from nature's arms and continues to cuddle up close to the bosom of his good mother, who has always given him nourishment, warmth, and protection. Hatha Yoga is first, nature second. Nature and last, nature. Interesting. Hatha Yoga is first, nature second. Nature and last, nature. When confronted with the choice of methods, plans, theories, etc., apply to them the touchstone, which is the natural way, and always choose that which seems to conform the nearest to nature. This plan will be a good one for our students to follow when their attention is directed to the many theories, fads, methods, plans, and ideas along health lines with which the Western world is being flooded. For instance, if they are asked to believe that they are in danger of losing their magnetism by coming in contact with the earth, and are advised to wear rubber soles and heels upon their shoes, and to sleep in beds insulated with glass feet to prevent nature, Mother Earth, from sucking and drawing out of them the magnetism with which she has just given them. Let the students ask themselves, what does nature say about this? Then, in order to find out what nature says, let them see whether nature's plans could have contemplated the manufacture and wearing of rubber soles and glass feet for beds. Let them see whether the strong magnetic men, full of vitality, do these things. Let them see whether the most vigorous races in the world have done these things. Let them see whether they feel the debilitated from lying down on the grassy sward, or whether the natural impulse of man is not to fling reclining on the bosom of the good Mother Earth, and whether the natural impulse of man is to not fling himself upon the grassy bank. Let him see whether the natural impulse of childhood is not to run barefoot, whether it does not refresh the feet to take off the shoes, rubber soles and all, and walk around barefooted, whether rubber boots are particularly conducive to magnetism and vitality. Wearing rubber soles seems to be a conspiracy. We give this merely as an illustration. Not that we wish to waste time in discussing the merits or demerits of rubber soles and glass bed feet as a preserve. Okay. So that basically that takes away the magnetic properties of the body and electricity. A little observation will teach the man that all of nature's answers show him that he gets much of his magnetism from the earth, and that the earth is a battery charged with it, and is always willing and anxious to give forth its strength to man, instead of being devoid of it, and to be dreaded as being anxious and likely to draw magnetism from man, its child. Some of these latter-day prophets will next be teaching that the air draws prana from people, instead of giving it to them. So by all means, apply the nature test to all the theories of this kind, our own included, and if they do not square with nature, discard them. The rule is a safe one. Nature knows what it is about. She is your friend and not your enemy. There have been many and most valuable works written on the other branches of the yogi philosophy, but the subject of Hatha Yoga has been dismissed, with a brief reference by most of the writers upon yoga. This is largely due to the fact that in India there exists a horde of ignorant people among the lower fakir class who pose as Hatha yogis, but who have not the slightest conception of the underlying principles of that branch of yoga. These people content themselves with obtaining control over some of the involuntary muscles of the body, a thing possible to anyone who will devote to it the time and trouble necessary for its accomplishment, thereby acquiring the ability to perform certain abnormal tricks which they exhibit to amuse and entertain or disgust Western travelers. Ah, I see. Some of their feats are quite wonderful when regarded from the standpoint of curiosity, and the performers would be worthy of applicants for paying positions in the dime museums of America. Indeed, their feats being very similar to some performed by some of the Western freaks. We hear of these people exhibiting with pride such tricks and acquired habits as, for instance, the ability to reverse the bowels of their intestines. Dude, I've done that on a mushroom trip before. And the swallowing movements of the gullet, so as to give a disgusting exhibition of a complete reversal of the normal processes of these parts of the body. I've done that before on mushrooms. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's really weird. Like, I've been with another person, and I'm like, yo, I can literally reverse time. I don't think he fully believed me, so I showed him. I pissed myself, pissed my pants, and then I reversed time and de-pissed, unpissed myself. It was dry. I reversed time, and I have a witness. It was amazing. So let's see here. This, from a physician's point of view, is most interesting, but to the layman is a most disgusting thing, and one utterly unworthy of a man. Other feats of these so-called hatha yogis are about on a par with the instance which we have reluctantly given, and we know of nothing that they perform which is of the slightest interest or benefit to the man or woman seeking to maintain a healthy, normal, and natural body. These medicants are akin to the class of fanatics in India who assume the title of yogi and who refuse to wash the body for religious reasons, or who sit up with uplifted arm until it is withered. Holy shit. Or who allow their fingernails to grow until they pierce their hands, or who sit so still that their birds build nests in their hair. That's fucking amazing. Or who perform other ridiculous feats in order to pose as holy men before the ignorant multitude. Wow, this is amazing. And incidentally, to be fed by the ignorant classes who consider that they are earning a future reward by the act. These people are either rank frauds or self-deluded fanatics, and as a class are on par with a certain class of beggars in America and European large cities who exhibit their self-inflicted wounds and bogus deformities in order to wring pennies from a passerby, who turns his head and drops the coppers in order to get the last out of his sight. The last out of He drops the coppers in order to get the thing out of his sight. The people whom we have just mentioned are regarded with pity by the real yogis who regard hatha yoga as an important branch of their philosophy, because it gives man a healthy body, a good instrument with which to work, a fitting temple for the spirit. We have endeavored to give a plan, a plain plan in simple form, the underlying principles of hatha yoga, giving the yogi plan of physical life. And we have tried to give you the reason for each plan. We have found it necessary to first explain to you in the terms of Western physiology the various functions of the body, and then to indicate nature's plans and methods which one should adhere to as far as possible. It is not a doctor book and contains nothing about medicine and practically nothing about the cure of diseases, except where we indicate what one should do in order to get back to a natural state. Its keynote is the healthy man. Its main purpose is to help people to conform to the standard of a normal, healthy man. But we believe that that which keeps a healthy man healthy will make an unhealthy man healthy. So we believe that which keeps a healthy man healthy will make an unhealthy man healthy if he follows it. Hatha Yoga preaches a sane, natural, normal manner of living and life, which, if followed, will benefit anyone. It keeps close to natural. It keeps close to nature and advocates a return to natural methods in preference to those which have grown around us in our artificial habits of living. This book is simple, very simple, so simple. In fact, the dog is dreaming next to me. dog is dreaming and twitching next to me. I always feel sorry for a dog when it's twitching and dreaming, because I'm scared it's having a nightmare. I'm giving her a massage right now on the neck. She's calming down and not twitching as much. There we go. Okay. This book is very simple. So simple, in fact, that many will most likely throw it aside because it contains nothing new or startling. They have probably hoped for some wonderful recital of the far-famed freak tricks of the mendicant yogis and plans whereby these feats could be duplicated by those who would read it. We must tell such people that this book is not that kind of book. We do not tell you how to assume 74 kinds of postures, nor how to draw linen through the intestines for the purpose of cleaning them out, contrast with nature's plans, or how to stop the heart's beating, or how to perform tricks with your internal apparatus. Not a bit of such teaching you will find here. We do tell you how to command a rebellious organ to again function properly, and several other things about the control over an involuntary part which has gone on a strike. But we have mentioned these things only in the line of making man a healthy being, not to make a freak out of him. We have not said much about disease. We have preferred to hold up to your gaze the healthy man and woman, asking you to look well at them and see what makes them healthy and keeps them healthy. Then we call your attention to what they do and how they do it. Then we tell you to go and do likewise, if you would be like them. That is all we try to do. But that all is but that all is about everything that may be done for you. You must do the rest yourself. In other chapters, we tell you why the yogis take care of the body, and also the underlying principle of the Hatha Yoga. The belief in the intelligence behind all life. That trust in the great life principle to carry on its work properly. That belief that if we will but rely on that great principle and will allow it to work in and through us, all will be well with our bodies. Belief in the intelligence behind all life. That trust in the great life principle to carry on its work properly. Listen on, and you will see what we are trying to say to you. We'll get the message with which we have been charged to deliver to you, and answer to the question with which this chapter is headed. What is Hatha Yoga? We say to you, read this book to the end, and you will understand some little about what it really is. To find out all it is, put into practice the precepts of this book, and you will get a good fair start on the road to that knowledge you seek. Excuse me. How is everyone doing? Yo, what's going on here? How is this? Of course, there's 800 Dans in here. What's going on, Dan, and Daniel, and Daniel? Jesus, there's like 100 Dans in here. Of course, there's a fifth Dan. Did you know that the fifth Dan is a martial arts status? Did you know that there's all the colors of the belts? The white belt, the yellow belt, the green belt, red belt, black belt. Oh, the brown belt, red belt, black belt. And then after the black belt, there's the dans. First dan, second dan, third dan, fourth dan, fifth dan, sixth dan, seventh dan, eighth dan, ninth dan, 10th dan. And I'm not kidding. Here, I'll go. But how are you guys enjoying this book that I'm reading for you? This is interesting. Hatha Yoga. How is this sounding to you? Do you like this? I'm about to start chapter 2. I need some coffee. My voice is starting to go, so I need some coffee. But yeah, I'm gonna check out the. I'll read some more about the dance, the martial arts, martial art dance. So so this is the Dan ranking system is used by many Japanese organizations in Korean martial arts to indicate the level of one's ability within a certain subject matter. As a ranking system, it was originally used at a Go school during the Endo period. It is now also used in modern fine arts and martial arts. The system was applied to martial arts in Japan by Kano Jigoro, and the founder of judo. Oh yeah, the judo is the dance system in 1883, and later introduced into other Asian countries. In the modern Japanese martial arts, holders of Dan ranks often wear a black belt. Told you. Those of a higher rank may also wear red and white and red belts. Dan ranks are also given for strategic board games such as Go, Japanese chess, and Renju, as well as for cultural arts such as flower arrangement, Japanese calligraphy, and tea ceremony. Dan ranks are given everywhere. You gotta get that Dan rank, son. You got the Dan rank? Get the fucking Dan rank. The Chinese character for the word Dan literally means step or stage. Interesting. Stage, eh? My name means stage, step, but is also used to refer to one's rank or grade, one's degree or level of expertise and knowledge. In Chinese pinyin, however, the same character is spelled Duyan and was originally used to mean phase. Dan is often used together with the word yu in certain ranking systems, with Dan being used for the higher ranks and Q being used for the lower ranks. Of course, Dan is used for the higher ranks. We all know that. Wow, that's fucking sweet. I mean, there's a lot more, but I've totally just jerked my ego off, and I feel quite satisfied. Traditionally, the level of the Dan ranks are considered the master ranks. Dan ranks are for the advanced players. Although many organizations let players choose their own ranks, to a certain extent, Dan ranks are often regulated. This means that players will have to show good results in tournaments or pass exams to be awarded a Dan rank. Serious students of the game will often strive to attain a Dan rank. Dan ranks are generally available up to about the 7th Dan. Professional player ranks go up to the 9th Dan. Yeah. I know about the Dans. I know about the Dans, and you didn't know about the Dans, but now you know about the Dans because you're listening to the Dans. Listen to the Dans. You're listening to the Dans. You got a shit ton of Dans in the chat room. Listen to the Dans. Listen to the Dans. Get the Dan rank and listen to the Dans. All right, so let's see here. Are you serious? How many Dans are in here? What the fuck is going on here? Was the guy that introduced the Dan ranking system called Dan? But look at all these Dans. Yo, this is hilarious. I was enjoying the read myself. Okay, cool. Oh man, that's fucking hilarious. 6 Dan. We have 6 Dan. There's 6 Dans in this. There's 6 Dans. I want to give. I almost. The thing is that I wish I knew you. I wish I knew you Dans better. Like I know Dan W pretty decent. Daniel Reza and Daniel Smith, they're always around. I don't know them. Like it's like there's so many Dans. It's hilarious. What's up, Boost? What's up, Juno Reactor? All right, I'm gonna. Yeah. So it did. So it went up to 10th Dan. I was right. It goes up to the many arts used between 1 and 10 Dan ranks. Called it. I almost was gonna exaggerate and go all the way like up to like 33 Dan. But yeah, I wasn't sure of that. But wow, that's really cool. 10th degree black belt is a 10th Dan basically. So that's once you go beyond the black belt, the Dan ranks are after the black belt, and then you have 10th degree Dan basically. First degree Dan, second degree Dan. I mean, you could go beyond 10th degree Dan, but man, is that interesting. Do all Dans like yoga and martial arts? All right, I'm gonna start reading. I'm gonna take a hit of this broccoli wand. Let me take a hit of this broccoli wand real quick. Actually, there are a shit ton of 10th degree Dans out there, Dan W. You'd be surprised. I mean, there's a shit ton of 10th degree Dans in China and Japan. I'm gonna take a hit of some broccoli here. Take a hit of this broccoli and cheddar. Got that broccoli. Stack the cheddar, stack the bread. If you look at the word Zen that I just put in the chat room, it actually all you gotta do is just turn the Z, just turn it 90 degrees to the right, and it'll say Nen or Zez if you switch the other one. So it'll say that or this. That's why it's spelled. That's why they called it Zen. Nez. Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of the old masters were exposed as fakes. Alright, I'm gonna start reading again. I'm actually gonna take a drink of some orange juice real quick, and I'm gonna take a shot of some Gentleman's Jack. I'm gonna take a shot of whiskey real quick. Oh, I also saw this movie that I'm gonna share with you when I get back, and I'm gonna talk about so extremely well. I'm going to talk about this movie in which this dude is he goes around and takes it upon himself to be a hired rebel hitman, and he goes and kills child traffickers and human traffickers and the sex traffickers, and he takes it upon himself and goes around finding them and then killing them with his bare hands, and then uh, yeah, saving the children and then being on his merry way, all while at the same time taking care of his 90-year-old uh, senile mother. So it was quite a good movie, and I highly suggest it. It was called "You Were Never Really Here," and I'll give you the link, or if somebody wants to find it, it's the main actor is with Joaquin Phoenix, brother of the deceased River Phoenix, which is also another conspiracy, and Fifth Dan Yoga. But yeah, so if you could I got 5 likes, 7 people watching. If you could and share this on Twitter, Facebook, that'd be pretty cool. And I'll be right back, and I'm gonna take a shot of some Gentleman's Jack. And I gotta get my camera fixed. I'm being lazy. Excuse me. Stay, stay, stay. Mm-mm. Come on, lay down, lay down, lay down, lay down. Good girl. All right, that was nice. Drunk by myself. I'm eating cheese drunk by myself. Good for you, Dan. Alright. I'm gonna fucking. Here we go. Chapter 2. Oh, you talking about Osho? Talking about Osho with his almost 100 Rolls Royces? Oh, Razdan? You mean Razdan? The the dude from India? From the Galactic Federation of Light who contacted me many years back when I was in San Diego, and when I was entering I was a it was a very that was like the pseudo spiritual phase, although that really did happen. So it wasn't like pseudo or fake, but like the dude who contacted me, who claimed to be from the Federation of Light, the, the Galactic Federation of Light, that is. I'm a small part of all religions and a big part of no religion. Yeah. Yeah, that's quite an interesting. Yeah, but fuck that. All right, here goes. Oh, that's all right. Oh. Antonio. Yeah, I'm live right now, Antonio, so if you want to join. I'm live currently. Yeah, this is actually a cool hangout. It was a good idea, you know. I needed to read it. So Super Rat Dan. Hey, what's up, Nine Angel? So many Dans. I think Antonio will join for a little bit. How's my volume? My whole system is all fucked up. It literally says that my volume is all the way down. So like obviously my controls are all fucked up. But how's my volume sound? Is it good? Am I too close? Should I go back here? Is this better? When I'm back here, does it sound better than what I was just doing? Let me know if my voice sounds better from back here or when I'm closer. Probably sounds better when I'm back here. What's up, Antonio?
Oh, am I connected?
Nope. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, dude, I watched the Trailer Park Boys season 12.
Yeah.
The one where they give, you know, in memoriam to John Dunsford. It's like, you know, it's such a good series, and then, man, what a just interesting ending, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I watched the whole thing, and yeah, let's talk about that for a second because it's so funny. If you look in the chat room, there's literally 6 Dans in the chat room.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was talking about I was reading this very old book, like over 100 years old, and it's about hatha yoga, or the yogi philosophy of physical well-being, and it's a really good book, and it's extremely interesting, especially since I barely have to you know, that's all I got to do is share the link, and you know, honestly, if my backup channel can get freaking 10 viewers, that's fine for me. That's fine. That's all. Even 5 is good. But
right.
But it's just this is a really relevant book for me. Like I need like I lost 15 pounds since I've been back, since getting the membership, and I'm feeling like good. I'm just physically getting stronger and in better shape, and this book, and it just seems very fitting because I'm always like consciously thinking about my spine, my spinal my posture, and actually like my brother like one of the it's such a random memory I have, but it's one of the most profound and like vivid memories I have of him. And I was outside. We were both outside in the front in the driveway, and like I don't know, I was just walking by him, and he grabbed me by like the, you know, the chest and the back, and he straightened my back out, and he's like, dude, he's like, walk with your shoulders back, man. He's like, you fucking keep your fucking spine straight, man. He's like, don't walk like that, dude. It's like, and I completely understand what, and I always think, like, I think about it almost like every day, and it's like, and like I remember being at Esalen in the meditation chamber, and like I had like a meditation pillow that you've seen with all the swastika symbol on there. You know, the original, and it's got like the lotus petal and the flowers, and it's kind of flat earthy actually. I'm gonna take a look. It's, although it's in San Diego, but and I had like an incredible, like, enchanted cape from a monastery from China that people like older people from Esalen are like, really like that cape. That's really impressive cape. And like it was like, I mean, it felt like, I mean, I was self-conscious about, I was just like, this is just funny that like I'm walking around with a cape at Esalen. It's just it's just funny to think about, like, being there and actually doing it. And like having people, like older people, come up wearing all types of awesome, like, beads on their ankles and their on their around their neck, their wrists, and they're wearing cool hats and bracelet, and glasses and clothes, and it's just really funny. Like, the whole thing is like a big joke, it's a big fucking joke. And it's just like, I was so insecure and like embarrassed and self-conscious, and just too much, taking in too much and not putting up my boundaries. And and it's just funny, like the being in the meditation chamber. I was like super tense, and like my thought, all of a sudden I suddenly relaxed, and like I just, like, so to speak, let the Tao take over, and suddenly my spinal cord straightened on its own accord, and it like just went, it like just clicked into place, and I'm like, that, and it had nothing to do with me. It just said it did it. The body did it on its own. Found, and it felt. I was like, that's that. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, that's definitely. I'm like, that was strange, and I was just thinking about what my brother said and the Hatha yoga, and I watched this movie called with Joaquin Phoenix, the brother of River Phoenix, in one of his newest movies called "You Were Never Really Here." It was made in 2017, last year, and is one of the top 20 best films of the year.
Don't say what it was about, what the film's about. I watched it yesterday, having seen what you said, and I thought, oh man, if I did not know what this film was about, it would have been just, it would have been better in order of magnitude.
Wait. So don't say what it's about, basically. So
Yes,
oh, okay.
Don't, because like you gave a little blurb, you said what it was, and I watched it, and whilst watching it, you don't immediately know what's going on. It's a very dark, but it's maybe a quarter of the way in that you realize what's actually going on.
Yeah, with those flashbacks, it's pretty fucking disturbing and thought provoking. Like, whoa, like, holy shit, this dude has, and he's thinking.
It's well worth watching. Very.
Oh,
wow! Okay. What a film!
Exactly. See, like, I was talking to, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I say I put these things on my list. I get intuition, like, my whole life, and flashes, I call them, but intuition about certain things that I have to watch, and I have to remember to watch, and I will. Like, gotta listen to Elvis, Dan. Gotta listen to Led Zeppelin, The Doors, Jimi Hendrix, Iron Maiden, all these movies, all these consciousness expansive, expanding, awareness expanding movies, Dark City, and all these, older movies, the Capricorn One, and it's like, even like Disney movies like Wall-E or whatever, it's just, it's like a confirmation. It's like, oh wow, that was an amazing thing to do. Like that was well worth my time. Like I really enjoyed that. And like that movie, as soon as I seen the trailer, I'm like, oh, that's definitely definitely need to watch that. I watched it. It just suddenly felt like watching it 2 nights ago,
Do
and
you
I
know
was
what?
like, what's
Do you know
up?
what's also a really good film? Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Never heard of it, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna.
Oh, well, it's like this one, like the one. Well, it's not like it. It's one of those films. You will love it. You will love it. I think it won the Sundance Festival. It's just it's a very good film. It's a cracking film. I don't know if you've seen the television series Fargo.
I heard of it, but no, I haven't watched it. No.
See if you can watch the recent TV series. It's very good. It's got a homely feel to it. Oh, sorry, I've got somebody at the door. I'll be straight back.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So Antonio was saying. So I mean, so like Trailer Park Boys, that was on my list. I gotta watch Trailer Park Boys. I gotta, it's just certain things. I get intuition, and I watch it, and it turns out to be some of the greatest. It's like it's well worth my time, well worth learning about, integrating. Like it's it's like a metaphysical thing. The Trailer Park Boys. It like you think it's just some group of drunken drug using lunatics in Canada and on a trailer park that is lawless and full of criminals. But this is an actual place that you can go to. And this is the thing about Hollywood is that they Vince McMahon and the WWE, it incorporates real life people, real life instances, reality, uh, people dating each other and their coworkers, and then going on the screen, which is TV, in the ring, the squared circle, and like Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, that happened in the ring, infused with it, and they made it into a storyline, which turns out to be real. And they get married and have kids, and now they're controlling, all of the wrestling WWE, and that's tied in with Donald Trump, the politics, the flat Earth, believe it or not. Oh, where was I going with this? This shit. Oh, shit? I forgot where the fuck I was going. I'm gonna check out the comments to get back on track here. So let's see here. Oh, what's up, Big Dread? Oh yeah, Trailer Park Boys. So reality is infused with the fake, quote unquote, fake storylines in the the business of the WWE. And the WWE is still it is a part of Hollywood, but it's its own separate entity because all of the Hollywood actors they're fans of the WWE and they become part of the storyline themselves. Like Macaulay Culkin is a fan of the WWE and he was at WrestleMania, and this just happened. What my point is that Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles of Trailer Park Boy, they get away with real life criminal activities because they're pretending to be a TV show, a beloved TV show that's going on its 13th season. And so they're able to get, like, Snoop Dogg is involved in it. Like, all of these different celebrities are involved with the Trailer Park Boys. So they get comedy, the stand-up comedy world, comedians. There's all these different layers and sectors, hierarchies of Hollywood, the Hollywood industry. It's very simple. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? Don't you overstand? Understand? All right, let's see here. What's up, Flat Trotter SS? Give you a wrench. I got kicked out of my flat for complaining about a psychotic racist neighbor who was protected by the local inbreds. Homeless for a bit, then I got sick. Damn, Boost. Then I found a place, but the internet is shit, and I have no camera, as I lost most of my stuff when the pigs frog marched me out of my flat I've been in 3 years. Damn. It's pretty fucked up. More. Oh, it's gaslighting. It's just fucking gas. They're just gaslighters, man. Fucking gaslighters, bro. Unbelievable. Jesus. Propaganda untold. What's up? I randomly found this live stream, subbed to his other channel, and now we got to go here too. Yeah, I got a chemtrail flu. Just don't bounce back so quick anymore. I really only started feeling normal health a few days ago. First series only. I loved Fargo. Where the fuck is Dread? Why can't I see Dread? I'm confused.
Hey, Dan.
Oh, Propaganda Untold is Dread. I got you. What's up?
Hey, I've just received delivery of some food. So although I'm here, I'm eating. That's why I'm muted. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm just reading some of the comments, and then I'm gonna
Cool.
read the second chapter of this Hatha Yoga, and then yeah, hop in whenever.
Cool. Cheers.
So let's see here. Yeah, Propaganda Untold. So that's fucking that's synthetic dread then. All right, cool. What's up? What's up? I'm pretty sure that's him. Let me know. Yeah, like and share this. Snoop Dogg is a Hall of Fame on WWE. Makes no sense. Yeah, it does make sense because he's been a super fan his entire life, Daniel Reza, and he's given a lot of money and time and performed uh, a lot of musical acts, if you want to call it that, on the stage and for certain wrestlers. And Sasha Banks is a current wrestler, and she's like a cousin or nephew or something like that of Snoop Dogg. So it's just yeah, it's a bunch of nonsense. Let's see here. How do good times for all? What's up, dude? How do good day, good day. Have a good day. There we go. That's my best LA Beast impersonation. Have a good day. Have a good day. LA Beast is a flat earther, by the way. LA Beast is one of the original YouTubers. He's a dude who just eats obscene amounts of incredible, disgusting things and regular things like pizza and burgers and all that nonsense and lemons and actually he's getting healthier now. He's changed. Oh, I actually noticed that's a fad that's sweeping through all those original YouTubers who eat obscene amounts of food, and they've been doing it for like a decade now at this point, and they're just like worn out, and they're like, Jesus, like, am I gonna do this my whole life? And now all of those professional eaters are like turning healthy and like juicing like obscene amounts of fucking healthy stuff. So like that's a new fad, and I was like, yeah, that's actually a really good fad. I like that's a lot better than snorting condoms like the ball earthers and eating Tide Pads and putting their faces and their arms and their genitals on stoves, hot stoves, and like all the ball earthers and globe earthers do. So yeah, it's quite interesting and it's quite funny. I hope a few of you can laugh at that and realize that 80% of the population believes that a Elon Musk sent a man in a spacesuit in a Tesla, and it flew around Mars, and people actually believe that to be true. So just gotta have a little, gotta have a sense of humor, otherwise you're doomed. But yeah, LA Beast is he's got over 1 million subscribers. I think he's got like 2 million or something like that, but or 3. And he's a flat earther. I paid money on his stream, like $2 or $5, and I said I gave a mention to the flat shout out to the flat Earth, and because he had like fucking 5,000 viewers or 10,000 viewers or something like that, and 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 yeah, he's like, yeah, flat Earth. He's like, because everyone was going crazy in the comments about the flat Earth then, and all the people arguing over it. It was amazing. And then he was forced to say something, and he's like, yeah, actually, that the Earth is flat. He's like, it doesn't move, and I've looked into it, and it makes sense. He's like, I am a flat Earth. The Earth is flat. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, and but then he deleted that live stream, and I was like, fuck, so I didn't get to upload it on my channel. But he'll still say it again. He's not one of those people who will not who's shy about it. So yeah, it's just like, it's a lot better than Chris Brown in my opinion. Although maybe Chris Brown was framed, like or maybe he did beat the shit out of when he found out that Rihanna was a man or something. I don't know, but it's quite so many connections. Like, I've just been on a free flow, and just I haven't even gone into the second chapter here. And have I smoked? Yeah, I did smoke. Yeah, maybe that explains it. I got 13 viewers here. That's a good number, and it's 5:05 p.m. where I'm at. It's also a nice number, and also Antonio, the number of the hotel was 23.5, which is double 5. It's 5:05 right now. 2 plus 3 is 5. That's double 5. When I saw that, I thought of Robert Anton Wilson, obviously, like I always do, and number 23. How it's been following me, Discordian law of 5s, and how it all adds up to 23s and 5s, and I'm like, Jesus, man. I was like, this shit is, just watching that movie, I'm like, wow, this is extremely intense. And what they did, his relationship with his mother was touching, and it was just horribly graphic with his asphyxiating himself with the plastic bags in the closet because he was trying to calm himself down because his dad was a psychopath and abusing. Oh shit, I'm like kind of spoiling it here, but well, actually, no one really knows what I'm talking about, so they'll just. But yeah, it's quite the movie. Yeah, that was extremely good movie. Like, that intuition I get to watch the Trailer Park Boys, Dan. It's going to be amazing, and I'm going to also bring this back to Jim Leahy, which I need to touch on, which is this whole entire thing was brought about by what you said about Jim Leahy and the Trailer Park Boys. I like to, like, I'm talking about Hatha yoga and all the spinal cord thing, and it relates to the book, and it makes me think of my brother and all these different intricate related synchronistic things, seemingly. But it's just very interesting how it all, the movie and Robert Anton Wilson, the number 23, and the Discordian law of 5s, and that was the number in the movie, and it's just, and how his relationship with his mom, and how I would, when that guy came to the door, and then the FBI, and then they killed his mom. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm getting so fucking triggered. I'm like, I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, like boiling with rage. Like, fucking, like, just thinking about it now. It's just like, yeah. It's such an intense thing. And
it's one of those movies where the minute it ends, you immediately think, okay, and what happens next?
Yeah. Sequels. Yep. And so I watched as soon as in the first episode of the 12th season of the Trailer Park Boys, as soon as Jim Leahy was in the prison, saying, he's like, my sweet Randers, and I'm just, my beautiful Randy. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I was like,
Randy. I just love that when he just Randy, just. But Mr. Lee, Randy.
it's so.
Oh.
I was sickened. I like felt sick and sad, and then I like, and then I was just I just binge watched the whole thing, and I watched it all in a day, and then in the ninth episode when they finally buried the hatchet after 12 seasons, Randy and Mr. Leahy and the boys finally buried the hatchet. I actually was crying. I was just like, I was like, wow, this is really tough. Like he must have known. Like, he must have known. And Randy's like, wow, Mr. Leahy, like this is real. Like a new era is beginning. Like I said to my buddy Sean in San Diego, who is the one who introduced me and basically told me to watch like you got to watch the Trailer Park Boys, and it was already on my list, my intuition list, I'll call it, and and so we watched the whole thing, and I watched it, and I'm like friends with some of like the drunk news network are like personal friends, or like they interviewed like a lot of the cast members of the Trailer Park Boys individually on their YouTube channel. And I actually, Josh gave me Mr. Leahy's number, and I called it because I wanted to see if his message was on there, but it was just a drunken butt dial, it seemed like, so I didn't get to hear Mr. Leahy's voice. But I was like crying like a kid, and like in the ninth episode when they finally buried the hatchet, and then in the 10th episode in the beginning when it showed Mr. Lee drunk and the kids and them fucking around with them, and oh man, like you know, it was tear wrenching, but not like the ninth episode. Like the ninth episode really got me, and then at the very end when Mr. Leahy was still in character, and he was off set, you know, but they do it all the time where, you know, the cameras are still rolling and they just get those lovely bloopers and behind the scenes. And that was Mr. Leahy's, you know, when you're dead, you're dead. But if you contributed something while you were alive, you're not as dead as you think you were. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, and then I go and watch my own video on my own channel, Flat Earth Subgenius, which is the live channel capabilities are taking down because I got porn bombed by a pedophile. And so I go and watch my tribute to John Dunworth, Mr. Leahy, and yeah, I like get teary eyed when I watch that video, that tribute. Nearly every time I watch it, like, where is your savior? Well, he's not here now. He's not in the clouds. It's like, wow, man, it's just like, where is your savior? He's not in the clouds. He's not here now. It's like, and it's just, it's the guitar and the acoustic and that dude's voice and the Mr. Leahy, and that's actually John Dunsworth. What he does in his spare time when he built that stone wall, and he built that himself, you know, like with help, obviously, but he did that majority himself, and it's like,
yeah. And he says, I just want people, you know, maybe to see the wall and go, John Dunsworth built that. Just that, you know. And when he's in character, like you were mentioning, he's like, I figured out the most valuable currency is gratitude.
Yeah, I almost started crying. I was thinking about I heard like I was listening to some spiritual dude, and he's like, you got to be thankful, you got to be like, be more grateful. And then when he said that, I'm like, I got so choked up. I was like, Jesus, man. Radomir, 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 Radon. A-R or I-R or no, M-I-R, Radomir. That's apparently one of the original names of Jesus, or one of the closer names. Here, I'll spell it out. Oh shit! Did we get sniped? Did we get sniped? What's going on here?
I don't think so. Why?
Oh, okay. My YouTube thing just stopped for some reason. I just got to refresh it. Where is the Savior? Well, he's not in the clouds. Yeah, such a sad pain and suffering. Two of the most. It's like people are so scared of the pain and suffering. I myself included, and it's like, really, is it really necessary? And it's like, it really is, apparently. It's like, really is a.
All religions were invented because of suffering. Without suffering, there wouldn't be any religion at all.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, that was like the Buddha's main question and main course of action was to relieve all beings from suffering. his mission in life, like every sentience and every form of sentience to bring to quote unquote enlightenment, or the 144. You know, so it's quite interesting. But yeah, did you eat? Did you finish eating?
I've just got the last mouthful now.
All right, let me put on some "Deliver Us from Delusion." It's called this bit of music that I'm about to play is called "Deliver Us from Delusion," and I hope I don't get a copyright strike, but we'll see what happens.
Wait a second, Dan. Will you pause it a second?
Yeah.
Where are you playing it from? YouTube?
Yeah.
Have you looked to see if it's public commons?
That's probably a good idea.
I mean, you probably won't get the channel shut down. It will just be a case that if you're not monetizing and they have monetized, then this will be monetized on their behalf.
Well, it probably will be, because it is of the Self-Realization Fellowship, which is an organization.
But they won't shut your channel down, that's for sure. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, well, I just hope. I mean, it's just like meditation music, instrumental music. It's like, actually that's true. Like they do have copyright on Bach and Beethoven, don't they?
Only some symphonies, because the actual works themselves aren't copyrighted. Well, the copyright has lapsed, but there are certain symphonies that have played various different concertos, and they have copyrighted them playing that specific concerto, you know? So that's when you can have a copyright issue with classical music. It's like, huh? How does that work? It's like, hey, that's, you know, the Berlin Orchestra or whatever. Anyway.
Should I let's see here. What are you up to?
Yeah, dude, carry on. No, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be a big problem, you know?
Yeah. Well,
I heard that somebody had gone in and sniped you last week, was it?
Yeah.
Recently. It's like, how did that happen? Like how did it happen? I thought you shared the link to someone or passed the link, and it's like, oh no, I think you showed. I haven't seen it because it was pulled, but I think you might have shown the link while sharing something.
Yeah. It was the 1 second interval where I thought I switched off, but I was a second late.
I've done it. I've done it 100 times. Isn't it curious that you have people who are sitting there just watching, and then you'll share the Hangout address, and they'll be like, "Oh yes," and they'll rewind and pause and write it all out just so they can go in and cue a video and go in and play that video just to mess with you. I was going to say another word. The fact that people like that exist makes me think I could play the character that Joaquin Phoenix was playing so easily, but not just for that targeted group. I could play it. Oh, dude, I would be a freaking monster. Like, oh, you've palmed on someone. Here's a hammer blow to the head. What did you do? You called somebody a boob. Here's a hammer blow to the head. That kind of thing.
Yeah, that when he was having his anger freak out, like I don't know what he was like. Oh yeah, he put his hands on his face. You remember? He was like, "Ugh," you know, the classic rage moment, the feeling.
Yeah, that's universal. This is one of those things. That's a universal human physical action to cover your face and drag your fingers up towards your skull. Yeah, I mean, we all know what that means. It means
anguish and despair and pure
fury,
like rage. Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, I was like, I'm like, I know that one.
I tell you what, there's one part that bugged me, and sometimes I wish, no, I don't really, but I kind of resent the kind of mind that I have. Okay, because I'm watching the film. There's a stage where he goes into the place and gets one guy and gets the security, and then gets the couple of guys, and there's a whole load of other rooms. It's like, what? Are you just leaving whatever's going on in those rooms alone? What the hell, man? Do you know what I mean? That's what I was thinking for the whole rest of the film. He could have gone into another room.
I know. I know what you're talking about.
But I had to turn the volume down because it was late at night, and I don't know whether the guy that he put in the car told him that there were only 2 customers. I don't know. You know, if that was the case, I'm brilliant. But if it turned out it was full, you know, people listening will be like, "What is this that they're talking about?"
No. That was a really good movie, and actually, I learned a lot too on how fucked up the whole thing is. But let's see here. Could you take over for a second? I'm going to take.
Sure. I'm going to talk about Red's rhetoric whilst you go.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
Shout outs to Red Rocket.
Red's rhetoric, I'm sure most of you know who he is. He and a friend who has a channel called Astronomy Now. They both captured the ISS at the same time. They went out to capture the ISS so they could triangulate its distance from the Earth, which they did. Strangely, though, their baseline for the triangle, for triangulation, is of 1,011 meters. They were 1 kilometer, 1.11 kilometers away from each other. So they record the ISS and the moon, transiting the moon, and they sit and they work through the mathematics, and they say, "Oh, it all works out." Like, there's a problem with that. It's a very simple problem. In order to do that mathematics, wait, before I continue, will anybody who knows what I'm talking about type X in the chat, and I will just twiddle my thumbs until I see whether or not anybody knows what I'm talking about. This is on the back of Dr. Zach making a video about Red's rhetoric triangulating the ISS. Dr. Zach made a couple of errors that I think are due to the language, because English isn't Dr. Zach's first language. So, anyway, red's ridiculous. Yes. Do any of you guys type X, please, in the chat if you know what I'm talking about? Dr. Sack's video and Red's rhetoric video, on which Dr. Sack's video was made. And while I wait, I'm smoking. Yep.
So you see my screen, right?
Wobbly Blues just, yes, split broadcaster to enable virtual camera. Yeah.
Yeah. So so when I got porn sniped, and now that I'm on my backup channel, my backup channel's camera stopped working. Isn't that a bit strange?
Huh?
Yeah.
How? Your channel is not receiving, so Google Hangouts is not transmitting your camera?
Yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah, I thought so too. So I got to figure out how to turn it back on.
So is it? So what is this XSplit broadcaster?
To
enable virtual camera output.
Do you want me to go do it? What it says?
I don't know. Yeah, why not? See what happens. Right. Hopefully it's not a virus and it shows some porn.
Oh, you son of a dude. All right. So let's see here. I go to XSplit broadcaster.
Oh, hey, Dan. Why don't you ask Zach? Good times for all. Hello.
Show you.
Oh, you're playing with the thing with the camera.
Huh?
Just your audio went strange then.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to ask if you were if I can pass the link to this hangout to Zach. Good times for all, yeah. Because he'll be able to possibly explain better than me the problem.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Zach, if you're free to join, I'm going to pass you the link in the in Skype via Skype.
Yeah. So I was going into the Dan ranking system because I was thinking about my own training in karate and taekwondo, and I only made it up to green belt.
What style of karate was it?
Let's see here. Definitely just a basic. It started with an I. Fucking. But it was just a basic Americanized karate.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And but the taekwondo was Master Chung's taekwondo. It's like one of the most famous.
Yeah. My cousin's I think a second dan in taekwondo.
Oh wow! See, that's impressive. And yeah, I was talking about the belt ranking systems and the coloring, and then I got full of myself and realized that I got reminded that the Dan ranking system actually outclasses the black belts. As I'm like, actually, Dan rank is beyond black belt, and I'm like, it goes first Dan, second Dan, third Dan, fourth Dan, all the way up to the 10th Dan, and I just, and then there was literally 6 Dans in the chat room, and so. So let's see here. It says XSplit broadcaster has encountered a problem. What happened? There was an unexpected error in XSplit broadcaster. This may be due to a programming bug. How will this affect you? The action you requested was not performed. What you can do about it? Restart XSplit broadcaster and then try repeating your last action. Try alternative methods of performing the same action. If you need immediate assistance, report a crash log. Oh gosh. All right, so let's see here. I will. Ugh, this is so dumb. Oh God. You know, like I don't feel like doing this. How do I? Whatever, I'll figure it out.
Forget it. So this is showing on your Google Hangout, this split broadcaster,
Yeah.
or is this something that you're sharing on the Hangout?
No, no, this is just it's just it's like OBS, right? You know?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Wait a minute.
Hey, do you remember ICQ?
Not really.
No.
No.
It was like the forerunner to. It was one of the very first messenger systems. ICQ, like the letters, and it was good. It was fine, and then Skype came along and kind of wiped it off the board. This was in the days when MySpace was a fledgling interface, you know.
Well, see,
I was just thinking, if Skype has been bought by Microsoft, which it has, and Microsoft has just said, we reserve the right, if you post anything offensive, you know, hate speech or whatever, you know, whatever it is that we decide that we might have a problem with that you have posted, we reserve the right to look through all of your things that we have access to and determine whether or not you're a nasty person. And if so, we will void any accounts that you have, like cancel, not refund, just cancel any accounts that you have on Xbox, on a whole range of different platforms. So be careful what you post. It's like, wow, talk about intimidating, trying to intimidate people. So, you know, with the sheeple out there will be people who will think, well, this is a messed up situation. I'm going to say, oh, no, wait, I'd better not, because they might say that I'm being offensive. It's like, well, fuck that shit, he said.
oh, I'm trying to fix. I'm listening to you. I'm just trying to fix my camera here now. Now, so you can't see me, right?
No.
Oh, there's good times for all. Cool.
Oh, cool.
How's it going, fellas?
Oh, good. How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Getting over. I had some kind of horrible flu or something that I caught.
You caught a chemtrail, did you?
Oh, I caught something, man. I was outside in 30-degree weather all day trying to get my truck running and
right.
not worrying about my health all that much, and it jumped up on me. Usually, this is the first time I've been sick in years, but man, it knocked me into the dirt.
Well,
it happened last Thursday, and I'm still just getting over it.
Apparently, you had a hangout that's got Trevor. That's Wobbly Boost. You've got him thinking about alchemy. he wrote in the chat.
Yeah, alchemy, man. I've been getting into it again. I'm going to start practicing it again this summer.
I haven't. I didn't see this hangout. In fact, I no notification, nothing.
I know. I haven't been putting them out. I should have put one on Skype to let everybody know.
Yeah.
I just been going over an old alchemy book. I bought it like 3 different times now. I love it. It's a great book. But it's just hidden knowledge. You know, that's what we've been doing so much of this lately, is sharing knowledge that they don't want us to know. And at first I was really wary about it, because I know people freak out when they hear alchemy. They think, oh, black magic, occult, you know. And I thought, you know what, screw that. I don't care. I mean,
yeah, let's face it, it's the forerunner to chemistry. Chemistry was just when it was compartmentalized, because alchemy involves more physics with the chemistry, whereas the chemistry is more isolated. It's just silliness. Anybody making Rick Simpson oil is engaged in alchemy. Anybody making ormus or colloidal silver, all of those things are alchemy. So it's just a word to try to put people. Well, no, there's a stigma attached to it lo and behold, by the same kind of people who would attach stigma to flat Earth. Like, are you going to let that sway you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's knowledge, people. That's all it is knowledge that they don't want us to know because we can help ourselves with it.
And
I mean,
there's
I
always
just use it to heal.
yes, and there's always the oh, you're going to try and make gold, are you? Wait a second. At school, when I was at school, but like this is high school, I remember asking the teacher, we're doing chemistry. I said, so how did gold become gold? And he just looked at me like I just called his mother a horrible name, And I said, I mean, is that a stupid question? We know that gold exists and it's here on the Earth. So did it arrive here in a meteorite or a series of asteroids or something? And if so, how did it become gold wherever it was at source, made into gold? And it turns out all of that was nonsense, all the outer space stuff. The Earth makes gold.
Mm-hmm.
So
nature is alchemy. That's what nature is. It's
exactly.
one big giant alchemy pot.
So when people try to smear alchemy with, oh, you're gonna try and make gold, it's like, how about you look at the Knights Templar? Look at the Knights Templar and then think, oh, is it possible to make gold?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go over. I did a chapter on the history of alchemy, but I went to go erase like the first couple minutes of the hangout because there was not much going on, and those are the only 2 minutes that I kept of the whole thing on accident.
Oh,
yeah. So I'll go and redo that one. But yeah, I mean, they've made trying to make gold. They've outlawed it like way back when they made it illegal.
Yeah.
So why would they make something illegal if it's not possible?
Well, in the US, they made it illegal for people to keep possession of gold, didn't they? Back in the day when they changed.
Back in the 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. They went around and they didn't take your gold. They bought it off you for $20 an ounce. And then 10 years later, it's worth like $300 an ounce or something like that.
And you had to sell it.
Yeah. Oh, they forcibly bought it from you. Yeah. It wasn't an option. This was, you're going to sell it to us or we'll just take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they went around and took all the gold but I think you can still make gold. I bet there's people doing it today, making gold.
I bet there is.
You just have to know the ingredients, or not just the ingredients, but it's like baking a cake.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The process, the whole process of it. You'd have to know the temperatures and this and that, and I'm sure there's ways of speeding it up. Like we can make a diamond much faster than nature can. So I know we can make anything. It's all already been made once. It all came from,
last week, just by chance, my daughter showed me a video on silver clay, which is malleable. It's a clay. You form it into jewelry or into whatever, and then you fire it either in a kiln or a very high temperature oven or with a blowtorch. You basically make it glow red, this clay, and when you're finished, it's now metallic, and you burnish it, and there's silver. It's silver. It was silver all along. It just looked like clay. It's like, wow. So that's how they make some of these intricate. In fact, I'm going to pull up a video and pass it to you. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I just heard of a shipwreck someone found back in the mid-90s. But he found a cannon with a bunch of cannonballs, and they didn't know when the wreck came from. They knew it was Spanish origin. And they found all these big giant clay jars in the shipwreck laying next to the cannon. And the whole outside of the cannon had turned platinum. The whole outside layer of it had turned itself platinum. And they think it was a normal iron cannon. And the people that figured out what was going on, they weren't interested in the cannon anymore at all. They wanted to know what was in these clay pots. They said something to do with the electricity in the salt water over a couple hundred years, had taken the stuff out of the clay pots and did something with the cannon, and it turned it into platinum, into these precious metals, whatever they had in this pot. And they've talked about the Spanish for a long time. They were amazing alchemists, but a lot of their stuff was hidden away.
Well, I bet you the Incas were great alchemists.
Oh, well, yeah, look at all the gold and stuff they had.
Yeah.
But yeah, all this stuff you just need the seed, which is pretty much, if you let rainwater sit for a long time without freezing, it'll get this white foam on the top of it. As long as no sunlight hits it or anything like that, it'll form like this white, real fluffy, and that is supposedly, according to some of these alchemy books I read, you can make anything out of that. That is your seed. That's like your base. You put that in a petri dish, and then you add, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some of this temperature, this heat, this pressure, blah, blah, blah. But you can grow things out of that right there.
What's this? From collected rainwater, did you say?
Yeah. Collected rainwater, as long as no sunlight hits it and it doesn't freeze. And you let it sit there for about 2 years. I tried it, but my garage, the furnace out there, went out one winter. And it froze over, and it totally messed up my whole thing I had going. But yeah, they say just rainwater. Just collected rainwater, put it in a jug, and let it sit there. You make it so it can breathe, but you also seal it off so nothing can get in. Kind of like a bunch of layers of cheesecloth over the top or something to stop anything from entering. And it'll form this white foamy stuff on top. And that is your seed to make anything.
Huh.
At least that's what the books tell me.
By the way,
I didn't get too far into it. I tried.
I've shared the video here in the chat, and in the chat out there on YouTube land, and in here, I've shared the video to the silver clay.
I don't know if I can.
It's in the chat also. The actual chat. So I don't know if you can.
Let me see if I can. Okay, there we go. Oh.
You'll have to excuse me sniffing. I just had a vindaloo curry, which is very hot.
Ooh.
Delicious. But it gives you a runny nose. By the way, studies here in the UK showed that capsicum, which is the thing that gives hot spices their heat, kills cancer. It was on the television news. It went on the internet for a short while, and then boom, closed down, disappeared, gone. How does that happen? It must have happened like 4 or 5 times in my lifetime that something like this has been on the news and then just disappears. It just gone, memory hole. Capsicum.
Yeah, that happens so often. I'm coming to realize that even things that have happened in our lifetimes can be swept under the rug. Even if they put this stuff on the news even. They can make big documentaries about stuff, and it can still get swept underneath the rug.
Yeah.
Because people have the brains of, we do. We're like goldfish almost. Not everybody, but there's so many people that don't. You should hear all the stuff I get at work when I shave. Oh my God, I've never seen you with your face shaven before. It's like, are you serious? I shave every single summer, folks. I've been here like 7 years. What are you talking about?
Well,
and whenever I shave my beard, it's like some big new, oh my God, I've never seen your face before. It's like, are you serious? It was like 6 months ago when I was shaving still. I only grow a beard for the wintertime. That's it. But people don't, I don't know. I'm not saying they should remember me in general or anything like that, but I mean, I remember stuff like that. I remember stuff that happened last year or the year before, or, a girl said, oh, remember when I had my hair when it was real curly? Well, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
now,
you were
go
two.
back.
You were 2 at the time, and she was 2. you were yeah.
But so many people, I don't know if it's like that over there in England or what, but I mean, people have memories that only last very, very short time periods.
Do you know, I've noticed here in the UK, they just the government under Tony Blair, the government was fined by one of these non-governmental bodies, which somehow has the authority to fine governments. Okay, you know, these groups that exist that you've never heard of, you don't know anybody who works for any of them, they somehow have the authority, and I say authority in their parlance, to levy fines on political parties. So they levied fines on the New Labour, Tony Blair's party, for having planted fake news. Like literally, that was the fine is for false stories in the news. Okay, using mainstream media to propagate false stories, literally fabricated, not just slightly. There was a famous case, and mainly through the BBC, a famous case of a Syrian chemical attack that turned out was not in Syria and was not a chemical attack. Various different things. Well, also whilst Tony Blair was being questioned by police regarding cottaging, which is trying to get sex from homosexuals, sex out in public. He was being questioned for this and for his involvement in something to do with the weapons of mass destruction nonsense dossier. Anyway, whilst he was being questioned, none of that was mentioned in mainstream media. Instead, what they were mentioning was this strange case of women who were being murdered on lonely train stations and lonely train journeys. And this happened for a month and then it just disappeared. There's no, we found the culprit, nothing. It was just entirely dropped because that's when the police stopped questioning Tony Blair. Now they've just done it again here in the UK. They've been going on about Russia murdering, assassinating a former Russian spy in London using some radioactive compound. For 3-4 weeks it's been going on, and it has just come out that whilst they've been telling this story, which is completely fabricated, it's another false story, the government has been making a deal to sell the hospitals of the UK piecemeal.
Wow.
Like, they've just said, instead of receiving money from the state, the hospitals, what they should do is they should sell assets. And any assets they sell, for any pound that they receive from the sale, they will receive £2 from the government, which obviously means the NHS is going to sell things cheaply. Look, funnily enough, the guy who has written this proposal is a doctor who founded a what's the word? A consultancy firm that buys former NHS property, obviously for a third of its actual value.
Yeah, pennies on the dollar.
And the government has, and his proposal is that the government should give £10 billion to organisations to help the NHS sell their assets. Organisations like his foundation. This has just come out. It has not come out in mainstream media. It has come out in Facebook and YouTube. The mainstream media has said nothing about it. Instead, it's been talking about this nonsense with Russia. And Russia's sitting there going, these guys are nuts. These guys are lying to their subjects. This is absurd. This is just complete lunacy. And it is. It is just complete lunacy.
Did you hear what they did here in the US? They made some big deal about a Russian spy killing an American spy or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they put it on the news. And they were trying to make it like that's out of the ordinary. I mean, isn't that kind of espionage? When spies get caught, they get tortured and murdered, and isn't that kind of part of the whole spy game?
It is, but
they put it out there like it was. It was really weird. I remember my buddy came up at work and he's talking to me like, did you hear about that spy that killed that other spy? can you believe that? What do you mean, can I believe that? Of course I can believe that. That's what spies do. I mean, that's espionage.
Yeah,
You lie,
but
you steal, you get caught, you get tortured and murdered. I mean, he's like, yeah, but they did this and this. It's like, no, the weird part is that you heard about it on the news. That's the weird part.
exactly. It's like, oh, really? So now they're saying that it sounds to me like they're playing the same story in the US, because what it was here in the UK was a former Russian spy, basically a double agent, was assassinated. None of it's true. And in fact, so you have organizations like there are people in the CIA and people in the FBI that have come out and said 9/11 was not done by bin Laden. You know, like departments have said, no, there's absolutely no link. Anyway, so there are always within government and these peripheral organizations, people, departments, groups that will tell you the truth. So here in the UK, we have Porton Down, is where the chemical weapons studies are conducted. And this is obviously part of the Department of Defense, well, the Ministry of Defense. And they recently just said, actually, we have absolutely no way of determining whether or not Russia had any involvement with anything that's in the media, you know, to do with this assassination. In other words, the assassination might not have happened. And the Ariana Grande concert that happened a few months ago, the fire brigade contacted the newspapers to say, we were not called to that venue. And if there'd been a bomb, the first thing to do is you call the fire brigade. Those are the guys that make sure that everybody exits. So, yeah, it sounds to me like in America they're just playing the same trick. Something else is going on. Probably this building of walls in Israel or whatever it was that Trump just signed recently.
Yeah, it seems like it's escalating. I don't know. I try to not even keep up with any of that world politics and stuff like that anymore. I see it all as kind of a big show, a big stage. There's power struggles going on and this and that, but when it all comes down to it, these people aren't making the decisions. They're being told what to do. They read what they read off of teleprompters. I mean, if you really think Donald Trump is making any calls on where we go to war or anything like that, then you're naive. I'm sorry, but you are.
This is I avoid the mainstream media, but you know, I absorb it by osmosis. This is part of how they doctor the consciousness. Like we were talking about how quickly people forget things. This is how they engineer the consciousness, the awareness of people. So you have something on the television news, and then you have something incredibly absurd, huge, big for a long time, and then they drop that like a hot potato and bring something else. And then 6 months later, they ask questions about that big, extremely colorful thing that they dropped. Because this is how they can manipulate people into having an attention span of minutes, 6 minutes. There are flat earthers who make 6-minute videos trying to reach the 6-minute mind. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time trying to reach 6-minute minds? You know? How about
they're not going to remember 6 minutes later after they watch the video.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. But, I mean, did you hear about the thing that was all over Fox News and all that? They had I think it's 30-something% of millennials, people between 18 and 24 here in the United States, are not certain the Earth is a ball.
Yes, I made I did a screen grab of the thing. This was on Yahoo
amazing.
News. I was going to read it out. I was going to upload a short little video. It would have been about 6 minutes. I'm not going to. But yeah, like apparently, you know, 2%.
The seed's been planted. Yeah, the seed is planted now. And since it's the truth, it's going to grow. I mean,
yeah. And they're going to use the snow globe as a way of dismissing it. which is why Mark Sargent went out there telling people freaking frisbee and snow globe. It's just so easy. For people like me, it's just so transparent. What's happening? This is how movements get diverted. You have somebody promoted to a position of influence, of however, and they influence a direction. And at the end of the article, they had a psychologist explaining that people want a life with more meaning. They say flat earthers will outright state that they felt meaningless on the globe, but now there's more meaning on the flat earth because it was made by God, and that they think there is more meaning. There is a more meaningful life under the belief that you live in a perfectly constructed snow globe Earth. That's literally what it said. It's like, there you go. Thank you, Mark Sargent, because he said that on television here in the news. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I saw that.
TV.
Pierce Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah. I said, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening. Sorry, guys. I just made some bean and vegetable soup, and yeah, thanks for taking over, guys.
Oh, no worries. I could ramble with Antonio for hours.
Yeah.
Good.
I've done it plenty of times.
I'm gonna just eat the soup and check out the chat room.
All right, cool. So Zach, you've seen Dr. Zach's video to Red's Rhetoric's video?
Yeah.
Okay. So Dr. Zach made 2 mistakes. I was chatting with him yesterday, and now he's like, damn it, didn't realize. In Red's Rhetoric video, there are 3 different transits shown. There's actually 4, but you don't notice because 2 of them are identical. So you have the first ISS transit of the moon recorded by Red's Rhetoric last year, right at the start of the video. He then explains that he wanted to capture it again, but this time with somebody else. So he and a friend set up their equipment, and both of them captured the ISS. Now, the friend had another friend with him in the car park, maybe 2 or 3 meters away, also filming. So those 2 shots are almost identical, so they only use one of them. But for a second, they show the other person. So there are 2 P900s and 1 telescope. And they capture the ISS crossing over transiting the moon. They then go on to determine the angle between them and the ISS based on the apparent size of the moon. So the angular diameter of the moon, to determine the angle between the ISS from their respective points and the moon, because that will give them their respective angles on the ground. And that's what they go on to do. At the end of the video, so doing this, they determine the distance to the moon and the distance to the ISS. And at the end of the video, they then point out how the telescope was on a mount that was stopped immediately after the transit at 53 degrees elevation. So 53 degrees elevation, that tells them that, having already worked out how far away it is, it tells them how far away from the surface of the Earth it is. So first they worked out how far the ISS was from their vantage point, wrongly, by the way. And then they worked out how far away the ISS is from the surface of the Earth. Well, in order to do this, you have to be able to work on a right-angled triangle. So whatever their original triangle was, they divided that into 2 right-angled triangles and worked on just one of them. This is going to be the same on the other side. It's going to be a mirror version. So they work on just one of the right-angled triangles. And it turns out that that angle was 53 degrees. Because that's when the mount was stopped at 53 degrees. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
So, you see, if you've got First, the only way to make a triangle into a right-angle triangle is if that triangle is isosceles or equilateral to begin with. That's the only way.
Yeah.
It can't be a scalene triangle because there's no chance you can make a right angle out of that. So if they're on an equilateral triangle and it's 53 degrees and the distance between them is 1011 meters, then the distance to the ISS is less than a kilometer.
Wow, okay.
So,
Yeah.
yes. So simple. It's like, oh my God, how dim are you? What are you doing? You know,
I was thinking about airplanes. Do we know they fly that as high as they tell us?
No, we don't, because let's face it, the only way that they know how their altitude is two things: the pressure, so the barometric pressure, and the optical angle, so the degree elevation. You know, this is the military who've done this, but they know that light bends, first of all, and second, they can't really determine absolutely without any margin of error the barometric pressure at various heights, because, well, the only way to do this will be to tether a balloon on a fishing line
and let it up very slowly, and yeah, 1 foot at a time, and take a measurement. 1 foot, another foot, take a measurement. Wow, I never even thought about it.
Mm-hmm. So we don't really know how fast they travel or how high they travel.
I was thinking about the angular size, because you look at a 747 at, you know, end of a runway, pretty far away, maybe just a mile away, and it looks teeny tiny.
So you know, next thing to do would be for somebody with a P900 to capture a plane transiting the moon, and then compare the angular size of that plane versus the ISS.
Ah, yeah, because they're supposed to be about the same size.
There you go.
Yeah, it's already been done.
Has it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I haven't seen it. I'd like to see a side-by-side comparison. ISS, you know, 250.
I've seen both individually, so obviously they had to have done the comparison by now.
Yeah, and I've seen a plane in front of the sun look teeny tiny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, teeny tiny, and that would be about the same as the moon. The sun and moon are about the same size.
Well, they have all those CGI
in the sky.
They have all the
true, that too.
Of the ISS passing the sun, and look, you can see it right here. It's that little tiny speck. But hold on, you guys reminded me of you're talking about how high in altitude, and did you see the insane facts page? It's got over 1 million likes on Facebook, and they said, "Hey, Flat Earth Society, checkmate," and it showed the people on top of Everest, and with the fisheye lens. And it's like checkmate's Flat Earth Society. So first off, they said Flat Earth Society, and second off, they showed a fisheye lens, and they have over 1 million people on followers on Facebook. So they're just getting obliterated and destroyed by flat earthers, and everyone in the comments section. Actually, you know what? I should probably go find it, but they're saying, like, I noticed a lot of the comments were, "All right, flat earthers, if you can answer this question, I'll think about it." How many times have you guys heard that? Like, I've heard that.
I still hear it like every day.
Exactly.
Then why does this happen? And why? It's like, dude, you're on YouTube. Punch in your question. There's like 1,000 videos on any question you could have, pretty much.
Dude, they're so ridiculous. But
I'm not answering your questions.
Yeah, some of the questions are like, "Oh yeah, well, if the Earth is flat, then why are some why are some apples red?"
Yeah, it's like, what? It's like, yo, why was I raised in this particular way and named? It's like, no, you're mixing things up here. But so if they're admitting, they're saying that in the on the picture from on top of Mount Everest that they can see the curve, checkmate, flat earthers. But that would mean that you can see the curvature from an airplane then.
Yeah.
So, but then they get stuck in
So
their
they made it to
logical
that top
fallacies.
of Everest.
So
Oh,
then
I'm
they get
sorry.
then they get stuck in their own logical fallacies and their contradictions. When then they say, "Well, the Earth is too big to see the curve, you idiot," and you're like, "Well, but you can see it from on top of Mount Everest and from the beach when you say you can see the boat going over the horizon." But then so if you're saying checkmate flat earthers from a fisheye lens on top of Mount Everest, and you have over 1 million likes on Facebook, and you're getting destroyed by flat earthers, and but then you should be able to see the curvature from the Earth from an airplane because it's 10,000 feet higher than Mount Everest. So you're getting stuck in your own stupidity and lies, and it's like that's all I do is point out your lies and your delusion. You're being a liar. Sorry.
No, go ahead. My bad.
No. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you see that Flat Earth Fokker interviewing that engineering student?
I don't think so, actually.
The kid started making stuff up. He was saying how. Now you know how I'm getting into electricity real big and this and that.
Yeah.
Saying that we wouldn't have transistors without Einstein's theory of relativity.
Oh boy.
I was like, wait, what? And he kept asking that Flat Earth Fokker, "Oh, were you educated? Were you educated? Or have you been educated? Blah blah blah."
It sounds like a branding system. Like it sounds like have you
and
got
then
your
you're going to
brand?
go and say Einstein had anything to do with any type of electrical anything we use today? You think any of that came from Einstein? All this stuff was way before Einstein.
It was around in the 1800s, you dope.
Yeah, and the guy who perfected most of it, Tesla, called Einstein a fuzzy-haired crackpot. I don't think he took any advice from what Einstein ever said.
So where is this video? What is this
Flat
interview?
Earth Fokker. It was probably a few days ago. It could have been yesterday or the day. I don't know. I've been out of it these last few days, but it's not that old. But yeah, as an engineering student at a college, and this was like Brian Cox's protege. You should have heard the stupid shit coming out of this kid's mouth. And he kept saying, "Oh, well, you're just not educated enough. Blah, 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 this and that." And then he said that Einstein thing, and I lost it. I had to go put my comment down in the thing and say, "Oh, this guy just started making stuff up," because everything he said, Fokker was like, well, here, look, here's the math right here. You like math? Should curve 8 inches every mile, and then it gets more and more as you go, and this and that. And he's showing it to him, and I just got infuriated when he started. You could tell the kid, he was so into space. Because as soon as he said, well, there are no rockets that go flying around space. There's no satellite probes up there going around. Oh, and the kid, oh, that's sad. That is so sad. It's like, dude, what is wrong with you? It's not sad.
I can't go to space, man.
Yeah, he was like, oh my gosh, no, you can't think like that.
You don't really believe that, do you? You don't really
Yeah,
believe
like,
that. You're sick. You're sad. This is sad. It's a sad moment for science. I'm the final arbiter of science, and me and my
it was Brian Cox all over.
Oh,
but
God.
Yeah, he's doing really good stuff. That Flat Earth Fucker, just going around and talking to everybody.
I've just pulled up his channel, and I'll be watching this video later.
I'll be right back.
I think it's 20 minutes long.
I gotta check on the dogs. I'll be right back.
All right, cool.
Okay. Yeah, I have 6 little kittens running around, Antonio.
Oh, do you?
2 mothers, and they had about 2 days apart, and the mothers are feeding all of them.
Right.
Like one mother will lay down, and all 6 kittens will come up to that one mother and start feeding.
Yeah, like a crash.
Yeah. I didn't know cats did that.
Oh, there you go. Maybe they're just the proximity to the electricity is causing them to behave a bit more humanely.
Yeah, well, one of them is the other's mother.
Right.
So one is like grandma, and then the other one is mom,
Yeah.
but grandma had 2 of her own and mom had 4, but all 6 of them feed off both of them.
Right. Huh.
Yeah,
By the way, I've
it's
shared,
neat.
that's really cool. By the way, Zach, I've shared a video of by Mick West of all people. I don't know if it's the same Mick West. Oh no, it's Nick. The Metapunk guy, is that Nick West or Mick West?
I believe it's Mick with an
Yeah.
M.
So it might be him. On YouTube, I've just shared it in the chat here and in the chat out there. A plane transiting the super blue moon. Super blue blood moon. It's like, wow, okay, thank you very much. I'll be playing this on my video, looking at Red Rhetoric's blunder. Which, by the way, I'm going to show because I drew the triangle on the back of an envelope, literally on purpose, you know. So I can say, here's the thing I did on the back of an envelope. Just absurd, just silliness.
I know these people who believe that we know anything about how far away these lights in the sky are. Go back and look and see how they figured it out. They based it all on the shadow passing over the moon during an eclipse. That's how it is all based. And the guy said that the Earth was 1 time or 2 times the size of the moon, and the sun was 10 times the size of the Earth, only 20 times bigger than the moon. And that's what all of our stuff is based on.
Yeah, and then they decided, well, they realized, oh no, actually the sun is much bigger, much further away, because look at how long it takes Venus to transit. Like, you don't know how big Venus is, or how fast it's moving. What the hell?
No, it's all salad. It's all just a bunch of, it's nonsense. Unless you actually go to something and take a measuring tape to it and know how big it is or the distance, you don't know how big it is. You don't know how far away it is. It's not possible. It's like looking at a baseball the size of your fingernail, you know, just like a little teeny tiny baseball, and holding it up near your face, you know, and saying, okay, well, that's got to be this far away because I know a baseball is this big.
Yeah.
But really, it's right here in front of you because it's a lot smaller than a normal baseball.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way of telling. You can't.
I wanted to, years ago, I was playing with an idea. Here in the UK, we have the Tate Modern Art Gallery, which is modern art. And, you know, basically not art, just interesting, weird thoughts and ideas, but really not art. One year, the winner of the Turner Prize, which then gets exhibited at the Tate, was a guy who stuck some elephant feces onto a canvas. That's it. Like literally, that's it. Didn't paint with it. No, just a lump of elephant shit on a canvas, and ta-da! And another. I mean, they've had all kinds of Tracy Hemming, this crappy unmade bed, just silly, stupid things like
or like a dining room table with crap all over it.
Yeah, like a spilt.
They call that art. Yeah,
a spilt ashtray.
Nonsense.
This isn't a joke. A spilt ashtray, which one of the cleaners stood up and cleaned the ash and the cigarette ends, and was reprimanded because that was one of the exhibits. Also, a load of bricks, and I'm not joking, just normal house bricks, not in a strange configuration, just, you know, in a block of house bricks, nothing extra, just a rectangle of bricks, and there you go. Not a rectangle of bricks that was the same as any one of those bricks, but, you know, in terms of ratio, made larger, you know, but to the same, no, nothing like that, just a rectangle of bricks. And that's just nonsense. So I wanted to do a little experiment with them. I wanted to have a dark room where people would walk in and they would see a light at the end of a tunnel, and they would be told to walk towards it slowly. And they would, when they took the second step, they would walk into a glass wall. Then the lights would come on. They would walk around this glass wall, and they would see that the light at the end of the tunnel that they saw was instead a long glass point that got larger as it got further away, so that it looked like a tunnel, because this is what perspective is going to do if you don't have a frame of reference. So it would look like a small light at the end of a tunnel, but really it's a small light, like a fiber optic, inside a big pointed glass shard, which, if there wasn't a glass wall that they've walked into, they would have impaled themselves on. I wanted to do that just to show that you can't. First, not all warnings are bad and trying to manipulate you, because it says please walk forward slowly, right? And second, not everything is as it appears to be. That's not a light at the end of the tunnel. It's a big freaking thing pointing right at you. People like Rex Patrick wouldn't, they just wouldn't understand that, even if they saw it.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to have to take off here for a little while. I got to go get some dinner for everybody here.
You go and enjoy it. Enjoy the cats. When is your next?
If you guys it'll be Sunday, probably about 10 o'clock. I've been trying to do it.
Okay, well, make sure that you share the links in the.
I will do for sure. I'll put it up on Fun with Maps.
All right, cool.
Dan, thanks for having me, man. If after I get done eating, if you guys are still on and all that stuff, do you mind if I jump back in?
Yeah, no, I just got back at my and everything. You can join anytime, man. If Antonio's still with me, yeah, that's cool. But if he decides to leave, I'm probably gonna shut it down, because I need to go feed the cats next door and restock on beers.
Okay. Well, guys, I was going to say goodbye too.
Okay.
What about? No, it's late for me here in the UK. Not as late as it has been in the past, but I need to do a series of things, and I've been working long today, so I need to take a shower. And
yeah, I gotta take a shower too. So I'll be live. I'll probably go live later for I think it's the very last Lakers game of the season. So I might as well just go live and shoot the shit. And but yeah, so yeah, thanks you guys you almost got it up to 20 viewers there by yourselves. So
heck yeah, rock and roll.
That's always fun. So yeah, thanks for joining, guys, and I appreciate it. Yeah.
Anytime, Dan.
Everyone knows
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, everyone knows who you guys are. So
yeah, but Dan, before you go, Zach, I'm going to go enjoy Bon Appetit. But Dan, you were going to read the second chapter. I don't know if you're going to or not, but if you do, I'll be listening to it from the bath. I'm going to take a bath instead of a shower. I deserve it.
I might, but probably not. I'm just gonna take a shower and take care of the cats and whatnot.
All right.
Well, if you're on later, man, I'll definitely check you out then.
All right, peace out, guys. Thanks for joining.
All right, guys. Yep. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.